I sometimes cannot wrap my head around how men think. He wouldn't take it lightly. Men need women to live. And you're like the last option. Do not have your life revolving around a man. And I don't think it's normal to move in with your boss. It's creepy. I feel like this is a very unsafe situation. Hello guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I always start my videos by saying just one thing, and that is I've been trying to stay consistent on YouTube, but I don't know what blah blah blah, and it's the same thing over and over again. But now I have thoroughly started enjoying making videos for YouTube. So I don't know if that should be my intro or if I should just change, but I do like saying I'm trying to and I am now everything. But yes, I have been enjoying it lately, so I want to try to make as many as I can. Today I will be addressing some of your love issues, and as somebody who's been in a few relationships, been traumatized, and decided to stay single, I think I can share a piece of my mind. Few of them are stories and few of them are just direct questions. So let's get into it. I'm gonna go ahead with a story right now. A girl wrote to me about a relationship. This girl was in a relationship for over 7 years. Last year, she lost someone in her family who meant everything to her. She was deeply grieving, completely broken. And during that time, her boyfriend, the person she expected to lean on the most, was out partying with friends instead of being there for her. A red flag. Like, I feel losing people is one of the most painful thing one can ever go through. And if you do not have a partner who can be with you during that time, why do you even have that partner? The whole idea of a partnership is to be there during your good and your bad, and especially during your worst situations where you've like lost someone to somebody you're in love with, and if that person's not there for you, out there partying because they cannot relate, it's sad. Because trust me, if you did the same thing, if the roles were reversed, he wouldn't take it lightly. The relationship already had problems before this, but that moment shattered her completely. In the middle of all that pain, she decided to leave the relationship and the home they shared, even though she had nowhere to go. Good for you, girl. I am so proud you realized that that was not good for you, stood for yourself, and walked out. Because a lot of people are like, okay, let's just give it a benefit of doubt. I've been in a relationship for so long. We share the same house. We live together. It's not worth. No, I don't. Like, this is where you know how to walk out. And I keep telling this all the time. The biggest strength anyone can hold is to know when to walk out, to know you're disrespected, this is not what you deserve, know what you're worth, and then walking off of relationships that does not help you grow or be in moments that you absolutely need them to be. What hurt her the most was that he didn't stop her, he didn't ask where she would go, and he just left saying all the best. I sometimes cannot wrap my head around how men think, because for me, I'm just like, bro, for the sake of, because with women, you're raised as a people pleaser so much that you'll constantly be like, if your dude goes on to be like, I'm leaving you, I'm leaving the house, and you'll be like, no, it's okay, let's figure it out, stay, whatever. But as I said, right, we are taught to be selfless, we are taught to compromise, we are taught to be giving, we're taught to be all of these things. But men are naturally confident, men know what they want, men do not give a shit. And I'm telling you, living like them is just so good because you don't care. You're actually chilling. You actually are living your best life because you live like a man, as they don't give a shit. But for us, we are emotionally so drained. We're constantly thinking about what another person would think, what they are. My God, it goes on and on. Like, this person literally was like, all the best. I could never. 2 months later, still broken and unable to move on, she reached out to him. They met, but he treated like a stranger. Obviously, it's called you don't have standards. The man does not think he's at fault, also why he never reached out to you. He knew that he could do better, and he also knew you would come back because we don't have standards. And eventually told her he could only see her as a friend, not a partner anymore. While she was still trying to hold on to the relationship, she later found out that within a week of her leaving, he had already started seeing another woman and had even brought her to the same house they once shared. You need to understand that men need women to live, okay? They absolutely depend on women to survive. So if you think your man is nonchalant towards you, if you think your man doesn't care that you're leaving or not, and if he's already saying bye, all the best, he already has an option. He already has somebody's waiting for him. He already has someone in line. This is just reality, because you will take time to process. You will take time to feel. I'm not saying all girls do the same, but most girls will take time to process. You're feeling bad, you're sulking, you're crying about it, and you're just like, I want to go back and fix this and try it out. Let me give it a shot or chance or something. But if a man is not reaching out to you, and if he's reaching out to you is also because he's tried his luck and he's gotten to know that you're the only one who can take his shit, you're the only one who'll stay with him, and you're like the last option that he's coming to. But if he's not coming to you and it was easy for him to move on, but it was not easy for you, know that he already has an option. He already has a girlfriend. He already had somebody in line. So the minute you walk out, it's just like, okay, bye, all the best. 7 years of relationship, and he didn't flinch a bit before you left. he already had somebody. And I also do believe that the reason of him partying or going out during the time when you needed him absolutely is because he wanted to break up with you long time ago, but he did not want to be the one to break up. And I don't know if you guys have seen this pattern. A lot of guys do this. They do not want to be the one to break up. They do not want to come off like the bad person or whatsoever. So they're going to keep creating situations or keep creating problems or keep doing things that will push you to a point where you'll finally lose your shit. Like, let me break up. So if they don't apologize, they don't do anything, and they don't try to fix the problem or try to fix the relationship, that means they already have somebody. They only treated you like shit and they were waiting for you to break up so that they don't have to do that. They just do not want to be the bad person to do that. And they could easily be like, you broke up. I did not. It was on you. I did not. You understand what I'm saying? Despite all this, she kept waiting, hoping he would understand her pain and come back. You're stupid. This is stupidity. Like, respectfully, please have some self-respect of yourself. Not only did the man waste your time for 7 years, he didn't give shit. When you reached out again to talk to him, he literally was like, I've moved on and you please move on. Like, please find a hobby. And this should not be the one. But a year later, she's still stuck in the same place, loving someone who has already moved on and questioning her worth because of it. See, I blame the kind of upbringing we have. We watch these movies, we watch that, we watch this. Our entire identity, like 7 years of relationship, you've had nothing but this man. Your entire identity becomes this man. You think of this man, your day is this, your night is this, every single thing. While this man already has another girl and you cannot move on from this, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your life. You could do so many things. Guys, breakup happens. Some relationships are not meant to be. But if you're dwelling in the past and thinking that magically nothing's gonna happen, he does not care, and he said that enough. He did not stop you. He's already made that decision. Please listen to men when they say no. Please take their actions seriously. They mean it. They're not pretending. They're not acting. He was not like that before, but he's like this now. I'm pretty sure I can change him to what he was. No, he was not like that before, and you went for what he was doing. Good. He's like this now and he's a stupid piece of shit. Go for that now and take decisions for yourself. Have a life of your own. Have a hobby. Do things, some things. Do not have your life revolving around a man. Literally, you're not going to be living again and again precious years of your life on a man who doesn't give a shit about you. Please, you're better than this. Next, I met a boy on Instagram. We started talking and everything was going well. After some time, he proposed to me. I took a week to think and I said yes. We were happy for about a month. Honeymoon phase. I'm 22. Girl, go back to my video where I say why you should not be dating in your early 20s. Listen to me. Listen to that video, please. Anyway, I'm 22 and currently in my 3rd year of MBBS. I told him honestly that my career will take time. I still have 2 years of MBBS, then 1 year internship, then PG preparation, and the first year of PG will also be very tough. Okay, so sorry for quickly jumping into it. You are career oriented. Good for you. So I asked him if we could wait for around 4 to 5 years to marry. Is like, I'm confused. After my first year of PG, I would tell my parents about us and then we could get married. Okay. But he said he couldn't wait that long. He said he would be crossing 30 by then and that he also had to think about his family and his brother's marriage. He said it was 3 years he could wait, but not 4 to 5 years. Otherwise, we should just end it. I told him my career comes first. I worked so hard to get into MBBS and I can't risk that. But overnight, he just said goodbye and left. Now I feel so stupid because I imagined my whole life with him and we walked away in one night. If he really loved me, I thought he would say, focus on your studies. I'll wait for you, but instead chose to leave. Okay, you need to understand. He's somebody who is going to cross 30. So he already has his priority in life. You're 22. So you're 22, someone who's coming close to 30. Both of your life has different priorities. I feel like it's a mature decision because he knows exactly what he wants at that age. He wants to be married another 2 years. You know exactly what you want and that's amazing too. But you can't just be like, if you loved me, you could have waited. Again, it's a very movie bullshit. A lot of people do. Good for you if that happens. This is a very practical way of living. The guy knows that he wants to be married another 2 years and he wants to marry you. But if you are career oriented, which I don't think he wants to wait, because if he wants to wait, he would have told you that he wants to wait. He does not want to wait. You, on the other hand, want to have a career, which is amazing, by the way. So he would also be like, if she really loved me, she could have married me and then she could have done her education, right? So his side of the story would be that. And your side of the story is if he really loved me, he could have waited for whatever it is. I feel like right now, for you, it might be like too emotional because as I said, you're 22, he's going closer to 30. So his priorities are way different. Like, oh, I want to be able to do this. this. I want to have a family. I want to do that. I want to do this and everything. While in you're still 22, like you're literally a baby. Your frontal lobe is not developed as yet. So yeah, for him, a priority is different, and for you, priority is different, which I feel like is mature. Because if you go back and if he comes back and if you're going back and forth, and then later on there will be problems because again, his decision is that he have to compromise something which he might not be okay with and bring that up if he's not a mature guy later. And if you decide to marry him, you will eventually feel bad that you did not give a chance to your career and ended up marrying too soon. So I feel like this is a smart and adult decision to make, to go ahead and know that sometimes you are in love with somebody, but you're just not compatible. It just does not work out. But you're still aware people who knowing exactly what you want in life, and it's okay. You know, beautiful relationship happens, beautiful love story happens. It just does not work out. But you will end up with someone who's aligning in the same mentality, and you cannot change people. You just have to accept people for who they are to a certain degree, as long as they're not like murderers or something like that. But in the meantime, also knowing for a fact that would I completely change? Like this, there's an extent you would change, there's an extent you won't. So this situation just sits in that for me personally. My boyfriend loves me so much and works so hard. He helps his father with his carpenter work and also pursuing his automobile engineering internship. And now he starts doing delivery work as well for some extra income till he completes his diploma. So he's always busy. A hardworking man. I'm trying to be understanding girlfriend, but sometimes I overthink whether he still loves me the same way or not. Of course, he's doing all this for us and for me especially, but still I overthink and get irritated on him sometimes I feel like our love is Korean drama kind of character. I start overthinking so much, you know, what if I'm not the person who will ever settle for bare minimum? He shows me how beautiful love is. He started watching Korean drama just because he loved me, and I am being the red flag here. I'm just overthinking. Okay, guys, you need to understand women go through multiple cycles. Okay, each of these cycles bring in a lot of hormonal changes, which kind of pushes you to think a certain way, be a certain kind. Please track your cycle. Track your cycle, write it down. If you don't have an app, write it down to know when did your period start, when did it end, what phase you're in. Are you in your ovulation? Are you menstruating? Are you in your luteal phase? Know what is your hormones, what does your body need, because most of the times you're crying, you're overthinking, you're doing all of this is not because you as a person, it's just the hormonal change that you go through. Our hormones go through a lot. It is okay for you to overthink. Yes, it is. Looks like he's a very sweet boy who's trying his best to be in a relationship with you, but also trying to live a life other way around. Here, yes, being understanding can be hard, but if it's too much for you and the overthinking is like eating you up really badly, you can try to have a conversation. You could just be like, hey, I'm overthinking about this, so I just want to talk about it. I don't want to make a big deal, but could we just do it? So maybe put it in a subtle way where you're like talking and having a conversation where you just like ease it out, because it can be too hard. But all of these things are something you need to understand that sometimes and mostly hormonal. So yes, go easy on yourself and go easy on him. He's doing his best to do whatever he can. And all the best to you guys. Hope this works out. So last year, 2025 November, right before our third year of anniversary, I got to know from one of my college that he, my boyfriend, has been cheating on me with two other females. I've come from Mumbai to Bangalore just to make our relationship strong, and then now I come across this situation. And my boss, who treats me like a daughter and like a princess that he always wanted, has taken care of my depression and trauma at the very moment. Okay. Issue is not that this confusion, guys, the story is getting out of hand. Issue is not that this is a confusion. Now I call him Papa, and I had no place to stay in Bangalore, and I was staying in PG, and Papa also told me to shift in with him. Run. I'm staying with him for 2 months now, and he still takes care of me like a small baby, 8 years old. And on top of that, he puts an alarm for me for Sehri also. Now that Papa is taking care of me, people around us is not okay with the fact that he's accepted me as a daughter. There are people who think he's my sugar daddy. And even after breakup, my ex-boyfriend also blamed me. I don't know what to say. I don't think calling your boss Papa is okay. And I don't think it's normal to move in with your boss just because you call him Papa and he treats you like a daughter, because I don't know. I think it's problematic, and I also think it's creepy, because why is a grown-ass man treating, I don't know. I feel like this is a very unsafe situation. You would want to like figure another way out and either go back to Bombay or maybe like have your own thing to do, because eventually he will be like, I took care of you, I did this for you, I did that for you, and expect something out of you. So I don't know, just be careful. I don't know, girl, if I'm doing good or bad by staying with Papa. Phew. I don't know what to say. Few people think I'm with him because of money. Nobody's ready to accept us as a father-daughter duo. Would it be okay for the society if I'm saying we were in a relationship for the tag that they are giving as a sugar daddy? Why can't people just see that there's more to this, more respect, more love that as a daughter I've never felt? More as that child inside me, nobody has been but only Papa. Maybe I understand you have daddy issues, but calling your boss Papa, I don't think grown ass men can be nice to women without wanting to take advantage. I don't know. I wish I'm proven wrong, but this sounds very creepy. Because what do you mean? I don't know, baby. I don't know. Maybe in another world, yes, but in this ideal world, I don't know. Just take care of yourself is all I can say, because I wouldn't ever call my boss Papa, and I wouldn't ever want to stay at my boss's place, even though how bad of a shit situation it is. If he's treating me nice, I would be grateful for it because of whatever that is, but nothing more because it is creepy. I'm 21 and was in a 5-year relationship with someone I loved deeply. He cheated, and our relationship became very toxic. And after trying for another year, he cheated, and you tried for another year. Do y'all know that you're like literally wasting time when you constantly give cheaters a chance? Like literally wasting your time. Like you're growing older, you're not getting any younger. Anyway, and after trying for another year, which was a waste of time, by the way, you should not have, we finally ended things. You should have done that when he cheated. But anyway, I was heartbroken and said yes to an arranged marriage my parents brought for me. Why does this get bad? My wedding is in July. The man I'm engaged to has a good job, a stable and wealthy family, and he says he loves me. But I feel like if I marry him, my life and dreams will be over. Have you communicated? Have you told what your life and dreams are? Is he okay? Is he going to, again, I don't want to use the word allow, but do you have your own freedom and do whatever you want if you're marrying this person? Like, has this been spoken? At the same time, my ex and I started talking again, and now we go out on dates. Yaar, Father, I am so grateful that I'm single, because what in the world is this? Why are you going out with your ex again? Like, why? What is wrong with you? Did he not cheat on you? You tried for a year and it did not work out. What makes you think that it's going to work out now? He says that he's completely in love with me. Oh, was he? I'm pretty sure he was also in love with you and he cheated on you with another woman, by the way. But okay. And he's begging me to marry him. Girl, don't. Firstly, don't marry this arranged marriage guy also if you don't feel like it, and if you don't know what is it that your future is going to hold with him. Don't marry your cheater man as well. Please concentrate on your work, go to therapy, make sure that you're healing, and then maybe decide, because all of these things are just going to put you into more trauma, okay? And you don't want that. I still love him, but I'm also scared because of the past. You should be. Huh? Once a fool, what is that quote? I keep forgetting that quote. Once a fool, you're a fool. Twice a fool, I am a fool. Or like once stupid, you're stupid. Twice stupid, I am stupid. Or something along those lines. So don't be stupid. He's already done things otherwise. I feel very confused. Do you? Confused is what you feel when the person has literally shown what the person can do. See, I'm not saying a person cannot change, okay? But after you've cheated, if you've given 1 year of your time to see if this relationship could work or not, and it has not, and it has taken you to get into an arranged marriage and this person to get to know that you're getting married, for him to come back again and ruin everything that is happening in your life, I don't know. This man seems to be a narcissistic piece of shit. I don't know if I should cancel the wedding, choose my ex, or leave both and focus on myself. I'm glad you finally leave both and focus on yourself, please. Thank you. Next. How can someone stay with one person who has many perfections, imperfections, flaws, but they still love each other? That's just human beings, baby. We are all perfect, imperfect, have flaws. That's just how it works. I don't think two perfect people fall in love. We don't live in a perfect world with everything being perfect. That's just not how it works. But seriously, dal chawal for entire life? I'm confused. Plus, how to make sure that we are feeling unconditional love, not mere attraction based on their looks and abilities. Okay, guys. Now, this is a choice you make, okay? Do you want sukhi roti? Do you not want sukhi roti? Do you want, like, you need to understand what is the kind of life you want. If you are somebody who is a lover and wants to end up with someone who's in love, do not care about materialistic things, I'm okay living the kind of life I can live as long as I live with him, then go ahead with people that you genuinely love and do not care, and you can build things together. You know, you can earn, they can earn, you can figure it out as long as you're not complaining, because at the end of the day, your love, relationship, date, live in, non living is all okay. But the minute you marry, the reality hits in. Two people coming together to build a life together. You're running a house. You have to make money. Your groceries cost money. Your electricity costs money. Your clothes cost money. Living a lavish life costs money. Every single thing costs money. And that time, your love is not going to be sufficient. So even if a person's loving you a lot, if you're somebody who's kind of visioned a life in a certain way and is not reaching those expectations, and you're the only one who's being able to like fulfill those, it will become bitter. So it's either good for you to like have conversations, figure this out by yourself, and know that, hey, I am a sukhi roti person, I am a pizza person, and go for it beforehand. Like, it is okay. It is okay if you're a materialistic bitch. It is okay if you like rich people. It is okay if you like love. It is okay. Guys, it is okay. A man is gonna look for somebody who's pretty, who's successful, who's educated, and yada yada to go with it. And you can also look for a man who kind of goes with what you like and what you prefer. It is not bad. There is not a rule book for unconditional love. You love someone and you love them so much that you're okay being with them regardless of what they can offer and what they cannot offer. You love them in their sorrows, you love them when they're good, when they're bad, you love them regardless of it. Obviously, it cannot be extremely toxic, but the feeling persists in you. It just stays. You really want to live a life with them. There, you're not really thinking, how much is he making? How much am I making? How is it going? But if that is your concern with whoever that person is, I don't think that's the person for you. Just go for somebody that you thoroughly enjoy and you thoroughly love. And yes, love is not merely attraction based on their looks or their abilities. In the beginning, yes. Later on, it is not going to sustain. Your true colors are going to come out. Your ugly sides are going to come out. You will see if the person wants to stay or not, if you want to stay or not. And then you will just understand that if this person is for you or not. But yes, there's no rule book for unconditional love. I do believe you know when the person is right, but having high standards, knowing exactly what you want in life, and not settling for less is not bad. You can wait for the right person to come, and it does not have to be, oh my God, you're getting old. Shut up. I know so many people who have waited, done whatever they want to do in their life, lived a very beautiful, happy life. The issue is we don't have enough single, happy people talking about their life all the time. We constantly are like, मुझे boyfriend चाहिए, मुझे boyfriend चाहिए, मुझे बंदा चाहिए, मुझे boyfriend चाहिए, मुझे बंदा चाहिए, मुझे boyfriend चाहिए, मुझे बंदा चाहिए. So many times that your world kind of revolves around it. And because you don't have enough examples of women living their best life by themselves, doing what they want to, solo traveling, I feel like man haters always end up with like the best kind of men because they actually genuinely do not give a shit about what a man is or how it is or something like that. And then they find like the most loyal, loving guys who will do anything for them. It's just how it works is what I believe. But as I said, there's nothing called an unconditional love, or there doesn't exist a rule book. If you feel like this is not the one and you've tried, you've given it a shot and you've given it months, he's just not the one. All right, you guys, this is just part one because the video in itself is very long. I'll do a part two. Until then, sayonara. This is me, Rana, signing off. Love you.